Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking about this, and don't get me wrong, I'm not thinking that this is some groundbreaking idea or thought, but I absolutely love Dragon Ball, all of the stuff to do with Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and stuff like that. And I was thinking, what two DC heroes, if fused together, would be absolutely overpowered? Like, overpowered. And I was like, well, who are the two superheroes that are the most well-known, the most famous, and the most loved? Well, Batman and Superman. And why would they be so damn overpowered? Why would the fusion between Batman and Superman be so OP? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. And stick around because I want to talk about quite a few things here, because I talked to a buddy of mine and he told me that a comic actually exists where this actually happens, which shout out to my boy Comic Fiend, because I'm glad I talked to him, because it gave me a chance to go check it out, read it really fast, and see what it was all about. But first I want to talk about why these two would be so overpowered for a fusion, right? So for starters, we have the whole effect of power and skill, right? Batman is amazing, right? Unrivaled in martial arts. And I want to make it very clear how important it is to have martial arts like skill. Superman himself, if he had martial arts like skill, like we're talking flawless martial arts, it would allow him to take on these godly beings even easier, because in like a technical sense, he would be so much better than them. Like, we're talking way better than them. There's a reason why Batman could take on these powerful beings. Like, well, not even talking powerful beings like there's some gods, but let's talk about Bane, right? There's a reason why Batman, who's a quote-unquote normal human being, can take on someone like Bane, who is roided up on Venom, completely cranked, and he's buff as heck, super strong, and could do all of these things. And there's a reason why Batman could beat him, because of his flawless technique, his amazing martial arts. And adding that to Superman, giving Superman that ability would be absolutely ridiculous. And kind of a fallback to Dragon Ball Super, because I feel like this is relevant to talk about. When you remember the Universal arc, if most of you guys actually watch Dragon Ball Super, if you guys have or have not, that's fine. But if you look back to the Universal Saga arc, where you have all the universes facing off with each other, or at least a set number of them, you have Goku versus Caulifla, excuse me, I had to remember her name fully. Caulifla, you have Goku versus Caulifla, and he's able to defeat her even though he's like completely devoid of energy. And the reason why is because he's just better at martial arts than her. At least that was the momentary kind of answer, was in a technical fight, he's so much better. That Caulifla is just a brawler. She just throws and wings, and she's powerful, don't get me wrong, but she just throws hands like willy-nilly. But Goku, he doesn't. He has a very thoughtful and methodical way of fighting, and that's very similar to what we're talking about with Batman. Batman's very methodical with the way he fights. He tries to expose weaknesses. He wants to look for all of the openings that he could possibly get. These are the things Batman does, and it would only benefit massively to a fusion with Superman, because now he has super strength, super speed, he can fly, he can do all these things. So imagine how overpowered that would be. But that's not the end of it. What about his enhanced intellect, the problem-solving ability of Batman? I mean, he is a genius level intellect in every notion of imagination, and his investigative abilities would just complement all of the Superman kind of already super strong, super fast, able to fly, all of these things. Because, well, you have all these things with Superman where he's, just this boy wonder. He's this person who's, or this big blue Boy Scout, excuse me, not really boy wonder, but he's more of this big blue Boy Scout where he's super powerful. He's this ray of hope in a way. And Batman, well, he's very smart. He's very intellectual. He's very problem-solving based, right? He is going to be able to hyper and critically think about these complex situations the way maybe a Superman really couldn't. but then give him all the strength that Superman has. I mean, it would be so easy, so freaking easy for Superman and a Batman fusion, or, you know, like a super bat, or I don't know, bat, bat super, I don't know, something like that. Super bat would be cool. But you get this massive person that is very strong, but also very intelligent, and can basically break down any situation that you could possibly can, leading to getting this ultimate guardian. At the end of the day, you have this Superman compassion with Batman's sense of responsibility and also his kind of dedication to justice, and both of them have massive dedication to justice, but you have this beautiful kind of balance between Superman's positive outlook, and you also have you know, a balance between the positive outlook and Batman's kind of darker tendency of looking at other people, right? He's always skeptical about certain people, right? Making sure that this person is who they say they are, and they're not getting tricked or something along those lines, right? So that approach to heroism would make it so that they would have this perfect blend of hope and compassion, but also be cautious and be able to protect everybody in need. And like I said before, in terms of strategy, I mean, the advantage that they would have would be insane. It would be absolutely mind-blowing to think the type of advantage that both Superman and Batman combined would have. Obviously, Batman would be able to maximize Superman's powers, and he wouldn't just charge headfirst into danger, even if sometimes that is the right answer, but I truly believe Batman would be able to deduce that. And this version of Bat Super or Super Bat would be able to deduce that as well. And on top of that, you got this highly trained hand-to-hand combat that I was talking about, not really relying on just sole raw power. You're relying on that power combined with the insane skills that Batman really can hold. These insane skills would just be a totally different level of this version of this Kryptonian, this version of Superman, and it would lead to kind of the perfect savior, the perfect kind of person to uphold justice. But I also said something, and you guys were like, you're probably thinking, oh, well, it's good that you heard about this comic, because, well, it kind of would have sucked if you didn't know about it in the first place. And like I said, my good friend Comic Fiend made me very aware of it, so I did read it very briefly and very quickly, but I did read it and enjoyed it, by the way. And basically, it's the world's finest comic, right? It's more of a newer one. I believe it came out in 2022, but it has a lot to do with this devil known as the Devil Nezha, which was a Chinese warlord, but he died very young, and his father was so distraught that he searched the entire globe to find a way to bring his son back, right? So that's the whole idea, is he's gonna bring his son back, right? And he gave up his entire dynasty, entire life, to find this elixir to bring back Nezha, but his son basically is disgraced for it. Like, he disgraces his father, is what I mean. He thinks this is horrible, that his father threw away everything to what? Save him? Why would you throw away our dynasty, our legacy, our entire kind of hold on this Chinese, like, you know, we're a Chinese warlord. Like, we were a Chinese warlord, and you threw it all away. So he was extremely angry and ended his father. And this would lead to Nezha really diving into dark magic, because he wanted to know more about how he came about, right? Why it happened the way it happened, and frankly, like, how the elixir worked and stuff. But this led him, like I said, down the pathway of dark magic. And obviously he was an absolute menace to leading him to being sealed away. But he would eventually come back, and what would be the first thing he would want to do? Well, of course, he would want to conquer the world. He would want to sit on the throne that he once sat on. Now, how would he do that now? Well, it all starts with taking over the Justice League, the protectors of Earth, everybody that can stop him. But of course, you have Superman and Batman that are left out of this, at least for the time being. Shoot, he even got my boy Alfred. How you gonna get my boy Alfred like that? You know it's business when you take over Alfred, because Alfred, hey, that's a real man right there. That's a real dude. We're talking about a different beast. We're talking about Alfred frickin' Pennyworth. call it like it is. Call it like he's an MMA UFC star. Alfred Pennyworth. That's who he took over. Okay, I'll stop. To get back into it, they took over the Justice League and obviously our boy Alfred. And the Justice League actually fights with Superman and Batman. But initially you would think, hey, Superman's not going to have any trouble with the Justice League, like, at all. But it seems that Nezha basically infused dark magic within the Justice League members, allowing them to hurt Superman just a good bit more. Now, I know the whole mantra is Superman is weak to magic, right? It's not necessarily that he's weak to magic, in my opinion. I know maybe a lot of people would disagree with this, but this isn't really the point of the video. But my thought is, it's not that he's necessarily weak to magic. It's that he's weak to magic in the way I'm weak to a knife, right? Like, he's a normal person when it comes to magic, is what I believe to be the idea. Because if we're talking about weak to magic, magic's not a kryptonite, right? He's weak to kryptonite because that is literally his kryptonite, right? It gets rid of his powers. But yeah, so it did make it so that they can hurt Superman, which was a pretty interesting take on the whole this idea of being able to have the Justice League actually combat with Superman, having all the Justice League be infused with this dark magic. But then you get this scene where Batman and Superman are clashing with Hal Jordan or Green Lantern, and they're thinking, hey, if we have enough willpower, we might be able to take the Green Lantern ring from Hal Jordan if we just put all of our willpower together. So that's exactly what they do. They channel all of their willpower and they rip it off of him, and they immediately would have the Green Lantern ring in their own hands. But who gets it? Like I said, they both basically channeled their willpower together and got it off of him. So who gets it? Batman? Superman? Why not both of them? So that's exactly what happens, and it fuses Batman and Superman and gives them a Green Lantern ring. Yes, a Green Lantern ring. Now, obviously, this is a temporary fusion, very similar to your, Dragon Ball Z fusion dance and or Potara with normal human beings, or AKA anybody outside of a god or Kai. And you have a temporary fusion, because the Green Lantern ring will eventually run out of power, and we are kicking some insane amounts of power because this version of Batman and Superman are pulling out all the stops. We're talking, this is a version of Batman and Superman together that he's strong enough to clash with the Justice League, but smart enough to stop every single person that the Justice League kind of shells out. We're talking, how is he going to beat the Flash? Well, he puts weighted boots on him so he can't run the way he wants to run. How does he stop Black Canary? We'll cover her mouth entirely with the Green Lantern ring, putting a mask on her face, right? And they continue to kind of expose all of these weaknesses of the Justice League with both Batman and Superman together, and with the power of the Green Lantern ring. And it's freaking insane, the power that they're kicking out. I mean, it's pretty obvious that having the strategic mind of Batman and the power of Superman, like the strength, the speed, and all that, just gives them such a high level leg up that nobody could really even just have a chance. I mean, after beating literally all of them, we're talking from the Flash to Martian Manhunter, excuse me. I don't know why that slipped my mind for a second. But yeah, from the Flash to Martian Manhunter, right? All of these people, taking them all out, and he beat them all. But then the final fight is with Nezha, right? This devil, this creature, this person that is all powerful, it seems. And he begins to beat the brakes off of Nezha, right? He begins to win this fight. He's beating Nezha. But then guess what happens? In your typical Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Z plot armor fashion, with one more punch left to go, they defuse. No, they defuse, man. The beautiful Super Bat defuses, and we no longer have the fusion between Batman and Superman. But it is no joke to see that this was a powerful fusion. I mean, obviously, you had your Green Lantern side of it as well, being that they had a lantern ring or a Green Lantern ring, which made it even absolutely more overpowered because Batman, or the part of Batman, something like that, or the Super Bat was able to throw Green Lantern rings, right, or Green Lantern batarangs, excuse me, and that freaking thing, that was awesome. That was insane. Being able to throw these batarangs that are like these green spectral batarangs, that's absolutely amazing to see. Same thing with like the laser vision and stuff like that. Having the combination or the fusion of Batman and Superman just seems to be massively overpowered. And I was gonna make a video just solely on talking about kind of the positives of it, talking about how basically he would be this ultimate guardian, and that the combination of the martial arts skill and the absolute superhuman like being power of Superman, from the heat vision to the strength to the speed to the flight, all of these things, right? How that would be insane. But hey, something came up and it was like, my buddy was like, by the way, that already exists. There's a comic literally all about it. And I was like, what do you mean there's a comic all about it? So I checked it out, and it was obvious. It was the world's finest, and it was insane. It was insane to see. I think the suit is obviously amazing as well. Maybe you'll be seeing a different thumbnail from me. I don't think so, though. I think I don't want to I'm using the thumbnail where it's like half Superman, half Batman. But I didn't even know about this until like recently. So I don't know if I want to get the different thumbnail where I have him in the kind of more world's finest Batman super bat type of thing, type of thumbnail. Not sure just yet, but I think for now, I think we'll leave it as it is. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this Batman and Superman fusion. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about any comics that I should be checking out and I should be reading. Like I said before, I have full intention of actually titling some of these videos in a what if / why format, where it's like, what if Batman and Superman fuse, which was going to be the original title, and then talk about a comic where that's what happens, right? At the end of the day, there's a lot of comics that I don't personally know about, and a lot of comics that frankly have a lot of crazy nonsense going on, and I would love to read them and talk about them, and I think they're worth talking about for sure. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, YouTube believes you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.